In this section, I want to talk about Bitlocker Drve Encryption. Using this feature, I can encrypt a partition on my hard drive. And with this, whenever somebody steals my hard drive or steals my laptop, he cannot access to my files because the key to accessing those files is not on the same hard drive or on the same laptop. Actually, I have backed it up to a flash memory, or that's a key that I have in my memory, in my brain. So whenever I want to access that drive, I need to present the key, and otherwise I cannot do that. So I want to show you this. Let me go to Start menu. I want to right click on that. Go to Disk Management, and here you can see that I have an extra, unallocated partition, unallocated space on my disk 0, and I want to right click on that and create a new partition. That's gonna be drive E for the time being. I want to change the drive letter right now. Let me right click on CD drive and change the drive letter because I want the drive letters to be contiguous. So I change this to, for example, something like Z. And this partition is going to have another drive letter. The drive letter is going to be D. Okay, now I have two hard disks, one hard disk with two partitions, and I want to show you this. I have drive C. If I click on this PC, and I have drive D. Now, I have some data on drive D, for example, and they are so sensitive, and I'm afraid of, being a victim of a theft. And my data is so sensitive that if somebody has access to that data, it's going to be a very, very big hazard to my company. So I need to make sure that this data is going to be encrypted. So for this, I have two options. I can go to drive D and find whatever file or folder I have and right click on that, go to properties, select advanced and select the encrypt, and this way this is going to be encrypted. But whenever I click on that file, it opens. This means that if somebody has my laptop, if he opens Windows and opens this file, it is going to be transparent to him whether it is encrypted or it is not. But here I want to show you something else. Let's go to Control Panel. I want to go here and type Control Panel. And with this, Control Panel is going to be there. Open Control Panel. And there is a feature that is called Bitlocker Drve Encryption here. If you don't see this, just go and select the view by small icons. And this way, Bitlocker Drve Encryption is going to appear here. I click on that. And Bitlocker is here. You can see that I can enable Bitlocker on drive C or on drive D. Assuming that I have my sensitive information on drive D, I want to enable Bitlocker on that. And of course, there is another feature here that is called Bitlocker to go, and this will enable Bitlocker on your cool disks or flash memories. So let's go and enable Bitlocker on drive D. For this, I click on this little icon. And here I can see turn on Bitlocker. Click on turn on Bitlocker, and it is going to start the wizard that gives me the ability to change it. So Bitlocker uses a lot of different, three different actually methods. One of the methods is to use the TPM, that is part of your motherboard, to save a key in that. And you have another key in your mind that's going to be what you are going to remember that key. And of course, you can have a flash memory that the key resides on that flash memory. So whenever you want to reach to this drive, for example drive D, you need to have that flash memory sticked to your laptop. So I'm going to use a password. This is the simplest type of enabling Bitlocker, and here I'm going to give a very, very strong password to Bitlocker, and then click on next. Next thing, it asks me to save the key to a flash drive. It asks me to save it to a Microsoft account, and of course I can print a recovery key or save it to a file. I prefer to save it to a file, and that file is going to be on somewhere else, not in this laptop, not in this computer. But here I just want to show you the content of this file. So this is the file that I am, saving to documents, and click on save. It tells me it is not a good idea to save the key in this computer. You actually are better to save it on a flash memory or on another computer, but here I accept the risks and click on next, and it tells me you will be able to unlock this drive by using your password. So now I click on start encryption, and encryption was so fast because on drive D there is nothing yet. But whatever file I add to this drive, it is going to be encrypted at once. Let me go to drive C, and I want to cut folder 2, move it to folder to drive D. And when I am doing this, actually the content of this folder is going to be copied here. Actually it is going to be moved, and it is going to be encrypted. So let me close this, and I want to open documents folder, and here is the Bitlocker key that if I open that, I can see some recovery key that I can use in case that I do not have the key. Now this is the identifier. Again, you need to have all of this, but you need to store this file in a very safe place. Okay, this is not a safe place. So whenever I try to reach to drive D, I can do this. I go to File Explorer, go and click on drive D. As you can see, because I have logged in and I have opened drive D once, it is open for me. But if I do not have the key, it is not going to be open for me. Okay. Now, whenever I want to back up my recovery key, it is very simple. I can just go to Control Panel, Bitlocker Drve Encryption, and click on Backup your recovery key. And this is the same page that I had previously. I can save it to a file, I can save it to USB flash drive, or whatever that I want to do. I can change the password, remove the password. I can add a smart card. This is a layer of security that I can add. I can turn on auto unlock, and I can of course turn off Bitlocker. Here I'm going to turn off Bitlocker, but now you have the idea what Bitlocker means. And as I told you, you can administer your TPM. This is part of your motherboard if your motherboard supports it. If I click on this, this will tell me if there is a TPM on my computer. As you can see, it tells me there is no TPM compatible with this version of Windows. But if you have a real motherboard, actually this is a virtual machine. If you have a real motherboard, you are going to see TPM administration here. You can manage that by refreshing. You can add your TPM to your Bitlocker Drve Encryption and work with that. So this is the Bitlocker Drve Encryption.